Our program is an inclusivity campaign called Our Region, Our Home, and it's a campaign that really showcases authentic newcomer stories. We wanted to feature something in our community that sparks conversation, that allows people to challenge assumptions around immigration, and really allows a space for community to see these stories of newcomers who are living here.
The impetus for developing this campaign came from a previous inclusivity campaign that we called See My Value. The aim of that campaign at the very beginning was to showcase the economic contributions newcomers bring to the workforce. However, as part of our immigration strategy, we noticed that there was a gap in communicating what other values newcomers bring to our community. So that's why we decided to create the new campaign. At the same time, there was a rise in anti-immigrant sentiment, both globally and locally within Canada. So we saw that online, and we thought, well, it would be important to kind of tackle this issue from a different perspective, not reacting to hate, but sharing what's positive about newcomers and how they're bringing value and contributing to the development of the city. So we decided to bring a set of partners, collaborators, and kind of start thinking, how can we create something that feels authentic, that feels legit to what our community is doing, and that's how Our Region, Our Home came to life.
The goals of Our Region, Our Home is really to showcase that we have a community that welcomes newcomers, that people can find a home here, and that everyone belongs. We want it to be something where everyone can share their stories, the community can feel reflected in it, and everyone has that authentic storytelling opportunity.
The people who utilizes the campaign are everybody, actually. There is no a particular segment that we were kind of targeting. When we thought about the messaging, we thought, well, we want the whole community to learn about the value that newcomers bring to the community.
The key features of our campaign are really stories. So they're stories of newcomers. They're newcomers who are in our community, so they're genuine. They are locals, and we featured their stories. So we had started with 5 different stories. Those newcomers had interviews, they got to share their stories, and then we created different collateral. So we have posters, we have different campaign materials, and we featured those in different avenues. So we used social media, we used community events, we have billboards, we have transit ads, and we launched it around the International Day for Elimination of Racial Discrimination. So we thought that was an important date that we could use to benchmark this campaign. And during that, one of the features of the campaign was we attended a local hockey game. So we thought that would be a great way to get people in front of an audience that they might not normally be in front of. So we had these t-shirts made, we gave them to newcomers, we gave newcomers tickets to the game so that they were able to attend. And we hoped that the t-shirts would actually spark a conversation. So why are you wearing that shirt? I'm a newcomer here. Let's talk about our story. So we were able to feature it there, and that was kind of our first community event that featured the campaign.
The key features that contribute to the effectiveness of this campaign are, first, collaboration. Having a good set of organizations sitting together, thinking about how can we create awareness around inclusivity, how can we share stories with other people, how can we make sure people understand why newcomers are important to our city and our community.
We had a task force that worked together from organizations from around our community. So we had settlement agencies who worked directly with newcomers. We had the City of St. John, Envision. We had different folks who work in communication in those organizations come together to build the campaign. We worked with them to develop the idea of the campaign and to come up with the stories. So they helped us choose who was going to be featured in the stories because they knew them and they knew their stories. And so the partnership and collaboration was really important to this, especially when you're looking at resources. So we had organizations who had similar mandates. They were looking to do similar campaigns, but we were able to pool all of our resources together and allow ideas to come together and really have that as a shared opportunity. It also allowed us to have that buy-in, so people felt they had ownership over the campaign, because this is a community campaign. It doesn't belong to one organization or the local immigration partnership. It's really something that everyone in the community can use. So it was really important for us to work together.
That was one thing. The other thing was the gender-based analysis. We used that kind of methodology to approach how we wanted to select our participants for our campaign. So that allowed us to create intersectionalities within different groups of populations. So utilizing that, we were able to say, well, first we want to showcase a family, we want to showcase an entrepreneur, we want to showcase an artist, we want to showcase a volunteer, but also a francophone. But that also allowed us to identify, well, probably we could showcase an entrepreneur who's also a member of the LGBTQ plus community. We could showcase a francophone that is a very active volunteer within the community. And that brought a lot of value to the messaging that they were sharing through those videos. On top of that, embedding this campaign into the immigration strategy was key to give it legitimacy and to give it kind of trust, or build that trust among the other partners and provincial government agencies. So that was key for the participants to feel, okay, well, this is something important and this is something meaningful for the community. The key features to make this campaign innovative, I'll say first, was not having a script for the participants. Yes, we had an idea, we knew what was that message we wanted to be, but then when we approached the participants, we just shared that with them and told them, just share your experience. Just let us know why you chose St. John to be the place where you wanted to raise your family, where you wanted to establish your company. And that brought a lot of value to the conversation. It was kind of 5 different conversations we had with people, and it was interesting how at the end of each of those videos, it seems like everybody kind of agreed. I chose St. John because I felt welcome. I chose St. John because I found a support network. I chose St. John because people here made me feel that I belong.
In terms of evaluation of the campaign, we had a lot of opportunities to get feedback. So we did have our task force that was working on it, so everyone was able to provide feedback and provide their input and opinions on that. We also have a newcomer advisory panel with the local immigration partnership, so we brought this campaign to them and got feedback from them, knowing that they are the people being featured in the community in the campaign, and that they also have really good feedback on how the messaging can be heard. And they gave us great feedback, and we ended up changing our tagline and what the campaign was called. So that was really important to utilize that.
Our performance measurement strategy for this campaign was comparing it with the results from the previous campaign. So we kind of benchmarked it against the See My Value campaign. First thing is, how many active users do we have on our website? So comparing our previous campaign, where we had about 1,400, today's one we had 8,000 active users of the campaign. We had videos. Realizing how long are people spending watching these videos was important, and to our surprise, people were watching full videos on our website, so it's kind of 100% success rate on that one. We had a reach of about 140,000 people, so kind of measuring those metrics felt, 1, good to us, but 2, let us know that we were doing something right, that we were utilizing the right channels as well. Again, we went with traditional and non-traditional channels, so we decided to have 4 billboards around the city showcasing each of our participants. And it was interesting how the feedback started to come in saying, well, I saw my friend on that billboard and I know why they are there, because they've contributed to this city, because they are good artists, because this family is amazing and they've integrated with our community very well, right?
We have heard from our newcomer advisory panel and community members that they support the campaign. They had really good feedback. People who were featured in the first iteration of the campaign, they were resharing their stories on social media. They have posters up in communities. They also, some of their employers were engaging in the campaign. So one of the features was a healthcare worker who works at Horizon Health, which is our local health authority, and his employer shared the campaign and was sharing the story. So there was a lot of engagement there, and it was nice to see when people were resharing their stories, the comments from their friends or family. But we also had a lot of really great comments from the community. So typically you would expect to see a lot of negativity in some of these types of campaigns, but we saw a lot of positive outcomes. And I think that's because they were real people, they were authentic people. Whether they were someone's colleague or neighbor, people knew who they were. So they were able to connect with them on a real level. And so we had people saying, oh, that was my nurse, he saved my mom's life, or he was my nurse in the hospital and he was so great. So featuring those real people had a good impact on the campaign. We are developing the campaign so that we can keep building on the stories. So these are just the first 5, but we are already working on our next 5. So we're featuring a youth, a woman, someone, again, from the Francophone community. We're featuring an employer this time around because we also know that employers have great stories to share about hiring newcomers and supporting newcomers. So we're continuing to grow it, and the group has really looked at that matrix to make sure we're representing people from different backgrounds and different groups and different countries. And so we're really excited about the first iteration of the campaign, and we're already working on the second iteration. So we had originally started working on this with the City of St. John, but we also work with 6 other municipalities in our region. And so some have reached out to us to say, how do we get more involved in this campaign and how can we use it? So we've really built it as a community campaign. So we have toolkit, we have resources available so anyone can use it, and it can be transferred to anyone across our region. Whether it's a local school or a library, an employer, they can use the campaign to showcase the importance of immigration. The campaign can be used for different client groups. It's really focused on newcomers right now, but we did call it an inclusivity campaign, and we labeled it Our Region, Our Home because we want to make sure that everyone feels like they can be a part of this campaign. So whether it's youth or locals or Indigenous communities or newcomers, we want it to be a campaign we can adapt to any group and use continuously through our region.
This campaign would absolutely be good for other communities of different sizes. It's about sharing stories. The skills that are required to run this campaign are basically 3. First one is relationship building. It is important to have good relationships within the ecosystem when it comes to settlement agencies, government organizations, municipalities, people willing to collaborate to create something that is good for the greater community. That's one thing. Second thing, having communications skills as part of the team is key. So we had people from those communications department sharing their insights about the campaign. Decision makers, that's also important. So whenever we are thinking about the campaign, we need to make sure there are decision makers on the table so we can decide on site and move forward and not discuss something, go back, consult it, bring it again, and delay the process. So decision makers, communication skills, and relationship building, I think, is key for this campaign or similar campaigns to be successful.
I think the main piece of advice would be to reach out to partners and not do it alone. We had 6 or 7 different organizations that we worked on this campaign with, and that allowed us to pool resources, to pool ideas, to pool finances. So we all had similar goals, and being able to work on it together really amplifies the impact of what we can do. So I would say the advice to others would be to reach out to your partners, see what others are doing, and do it together. I feel like this campaign is really a heartwarming campaign. It really speaks to who we are as people, everyone, and the fact that no matter who you are, where you're from, this is a region where everyone can call home.